Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. This is Mudita Bansal, and on behalf of TCS iON, a very warm welcome to all you students of Tyagarajar College of Engineering. It's truly wonderful to have you here today. Most of you, I assume that you are in final year and you will be stepping out into the job market very soon. You should know that the journey is very exciting, but it is competitive also. Before we start, I must take a moment to acknowledge that Dr. K. Hari Tyagarajan, the chairman, and Dr. L. Ashok Kumar, the principal of Tyagarajar College of Engineering, they have been personally in connect with TCS iON leadership and have conceptualized this College Connect series with us. It is to their vision and initiative that these special sessions are being brought to you all, ensuring that you students gain a deeper exposure into emerging technologies and future ready skills. So, students, the world, you know that it is changing, and one of the key drivers of this change is artificial intelligence. Within this space, also, prompt engineering has emerged as a game changer recently. What was once just a niche skill is now shaping across industries. It is shaping how companies have innovated, how they are solving problems, how they are creating value across industries. So think about it. Just a few years ago, no one had ever heard of roles like prompt engineer or AI interaction designer, right? But today, these are becoming some of the most talked about opportunities, with companies actively seeking professionals who know how to do AI effectively. It's no longer just about writing a code. It's about asking the right questions, designing the right prompts, and using creativity and context to get meaningful answers, outputs, solutions from anywhere at all. An AI tool, be it internet, be it ChatGPT, anything at all. So for students like you, this is both an opportunity and a responsibility at this point. There is an opportunity which lies in being at the forefront of a completely new career space, and it's a responsibility for you to prepare yourself. Uh, you need to learn the tools. You also need to strengthen your critical thinking, your problem solving, and your ability to adapt to this change. And that is exactly why we brought this session to you on how prompt engineering is defining the future of the work. Right. A very warm welcome to our guest speaker of the day, Dr. Himdweep Walia. She's been working in higher education domain for almost 2 decades now. Currently, she's working in TCS as a subject matter expert and domain consultant for learning programs in the higher education domain. And she has end-to-end ownership of learning products in the AI and ML domain here. In her current role, she's working with INIs, that is all the IITs, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Bhubaneswar, IIT Ropar, and so many of these INIs, also with universities to create degree programs or certificate programs in domains like AI, ML, AR, VR, IoT, cybersecurity, and cloud computing, with upcoming relevant courses to help all students like you leverage the courses in a graded manner. A very warm welcome to you, Dr. Himfi. Thank you so much for taking out time and being here today.
Thanks, Mudita. Thank you so much for inviting me.
But we want this session to be very interactive. We want you to answer our questions and ask questions from us at the same time. Okay. So please be very, very interactive with us. We'll start with one basic question from you that we are bringing up in the poll, which is, which education background do you belong to? Are you an engineering student? Are you non-engineering? Are you a computer science student or an IT student? Or if there is something else, then you can mark others here in the poll and you can answer in chat what is your specification of education background. Next question is, why is prompt engineering becoming so important in today's AI-driven world? The options that we've given to you, these are multiple choice. You can select more than one option. It helps AI give better and more accurate results. It replaces all human jobs. It's only a trend, or it makes AI faster. Let's see how you perceive prompt engineering as. All of you have selected at least the first option, that it helps AI give better and more accurate results. Some of you have also selected it makes AI faster and it replaces all human jobs. But I need more answers from you, please. Any more responses? I still see the same sequence. All of you have selected it helps AI give better and more accurate results. What do you think about this, Dr. Himdweep? Are they on the right track?
Actually, they are. So AI is actually giving a better and comparatively more accurate results, but it comes with an asterisk. And I'll talk about that asterisk also.
Great. We know that prompt engineering is a term that we've been hearing a lot about these days, especially in the AI driven world. If you could walk us through the term and help us understand what it really means and why it has suddenly become so important. Over to you, Dr. Hindri.
Thank you so much, Madhana. Um, well, it's always better if we have some sort of a visual representation to explain to students. So I prepared a small presentation and I love to share it with these students. And through that, I love to explain that what prompt engineering is all about and um, how they can, if they haven't already started, how can they start a journey in this direction. Okay. We'll be talking about prompt engineering and we'll look at the good, the bad, and the ugly side of it. Because if you are talking about technology, you should be aware of all the three sides that it covers. So let's understand that what exactly is generative AI. And that's the first term and post that will come to prompt engineering. So generative AI refers to specific type of AI systems that are capable of generating content that is new. And this content could be your text, it can be music, it can be images, it can be video, it can be even your programming code. And it's a boon for researchers because it can help to generate a lot of synthetic data as well, which is primarily, the biggest hurdle that researchers find. Um, and there are, some very important generative AI models that work in the background, and they are the ones which are capable of, helping us churn out this new content, which has no reference whatsoever. Some of these important models that we have is generative adversarial network, which is popularly known as GANs. Then we have variational autoencoders, which are popularly known as VAEs, and then we have transformers. Now, how does this works? How generative AI works? So the first phase is that of training. So you learn from data. So what we do is that we actually provide a massive amount of data to these models. And this data can be in the form of text, images, videos, audio clips, everything that we can put together so that these models can learn. Once they have, this data set has been provided, then it goes through a transformer, which is primarily neural network. Now, this transformer is a little special because it has two neural networks, one which is supposed to be generating the new content and the other one which is supposed to do the act of policing, which means that it's supposed to check whether the new content generated is not a copy paste of a old content. So it has to be 100% new. Once that is confirmed, that's when you get the output in the form of whatever you have desired, whether you wanted a new image, whether you wanted new code, whether you wanted new text, all that will be generated for you. So this is what is going on in the background. Now, once you have trained the model, so I'm hoping that you all understand how a machine learning model works. So you have a data set, you train the model, and then you check for its accuracy. Once everything is done, that's when you deploy it. So similar to that, your generative AI model, once it has been trained, it is then deployed, which means that how are we going to use this? So this is when you give an input which is in the form of a prompt, and the generative AI model is going to work its magic, that magic that you have coded, and then it's going to give you an output. So the three different transformers that I spoke about, these are the core techniques that they are based on. So GANs comprises of two neural networks. One is generator and the other one is discriminator. So as I mentioned, generator is the one who's supposed to be generating new content, and discriminator is supposed to be policing it and checking whether this is actually new or not. And the WAN actually works on a encoder decoder concept, wherein the data is going to be encoded, which means that you'll be adding a lot of noise to it, and then you will be decoding it to see that how much of the noise you were successfully able to remove, so that you are able to get the original data that you had. And then you have transformers which predict on the next token that is supposed to help you know that what is the rest of the content that needs to be generated. So these are the major foundation fundamentals on which these three techniques are based on. Okay, so if I look at all the different applications which are available, and these are just some of the few which are quite popular out there, and I'm sure most of you must be already using them. They all are dependent on either one of these principles that we just discussed, either one of the architectures that we just discussed. So I just wanted to walk you through that how my journey in prompt engineering began, and how and why I realized that how essential it is to understand the nuances of a right prompt. So of all these applications which are there, the one that enticed me the most was obviously Midjourney. And the reason why it did, because of this image. I'm sure almost all of you must have drawn this in when you were in your kindergarten, and I'm sure all of you must have received a star from your teacher telling you that you are a wonderful artist, and one day you are going to be one of the greatest artists India would have ever produced, right? So this sweet memory has stayed with all of us. And when I knew that we have Midjourney, which is capable of generating images that look like this, it looks like a photograph, but it's an artificial image that is generated by Midjourney. Similarly, this one, it's an artificial image that is generated by Midjourney. And this, of course, you can tell is something which is not realistic. It's quite mystical in its look and feel. So obviously, this is also one of the creations of Midjourney. Then I started experimenting with just giving one word to see what sort of reference Midjourney throws me. So if you have worked with Midjourney, you would already know that it gives you four images for every prompt that you give. So one of the images that it showed was this one, which was quite similar to the concept of metamorphism that the book talks about. This was another experimentation that I did by using the word intellect. And this is the image that got generated by the word vivid. So then that's when you start getting more creative, right? So I wanted to recreate Mona Lisa, which is Da Vinci's masterpiece, but in the style of Van Gogh. And his style is famous for the circular brush strokes that he has, right? So this is what Midjourney came up with. And it actually has mixed the two different artist inspiration and styles together, right? So then got a little more creative with the prompt and wanted to design a city that is built out of glass and steel and has a lot of spirals and curves, and this is what Midjourney came up with. Then the creative run began to empower me more, and I thought of writing a small story of a boy trying to learn how to ride a bicycle, and this is a four-picture story that Midjourney gave up. So I was quite excited about it and thought that why not try to be an anime artist, right? So wanted to have a full-fledged story. So the first thing was to introduce the hero of the story, and that's where this prompt came Using an anime style, create a picture of a boy riding a bicycle coming from school. And Midjourney did full justice to it and gave a wonderful image to start with. And then if you have a hero, you need to have a heroine as well. So this was the prompt that helped with the uh, option of creating a wonderful image of the heroine as well. Now, once that was done, was time to create a scene where the hero and the heroine meets the first time. So this was quite a complex prompt in which I mentioned that the boy is supposed to be riding a bicycle coming from school, the girl is supposed to be walking back from school, and then they're supposed to be crossing path with each other. And this is the image that Midjourney gave. It's quite scary, right? And if you look closely, it seems as if two images have been joined. And the more scary part is the fact that the girl's head is upside down. So instead of a sweet story, I had a horror story at hand. So what's the keyword here? Effective prompts. So it's not, as a matter of fact, that what you are writing, it will give you results, but it makes a difference that how well you are writing the prompt. Only then you will be getting the results that you are looking for. So prompt engineering is nothing but the process of designing, refining, and structuring your input prompts effectively with any of the AI models that you could be using. And I'm sure most of you must be already using ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity. All of these are quite popular. I'm sure most of you have already downloaded them on your mobile phones and you must be already using them. So prompt engineering is that, you know, how creative you can be, but then along with creativeness, it has to be also be clear images, clear prompts that you are providing to these applications so that they can give you the results that you are looking for, or otherwise you might end up with something altogether different. So just to set the, and understanding what I mean by that, if I'm just writing, tell me about space, it's a poor prompt. But if this has been written like, summarize the key features of each planet in the solar system in one sentence per planet, suitable for middle school students, then I have given all the things that are necessary for the AI tool to understand that what exactly is that I'm looking for. Else it can give me huge amount of information and perhaps nothing of that is suitable to what I'm looking for. So if as per the second prompt, it's quite clear that I want this content that is suitable for middle school students, right? So their level of understanding. And then for every planet, if I start getting into too much detail, that's also too much for the students to absorb. But for every planet, if I can have that one right sentence that clearly tells that what is this planet best known for, or what sets it apart from rest of the other planets, and that can stay with these students for a long time. So similarly, this is another prompt that we have experimented with. Prepare a one-page resume of an associate working as data analyst, having a 5 year of experience in a startup specializing in social media marketing. So here also we have explained that what is the designation, what is the role, how many years of experience, in what company that experience is, and what is the specialization that this person is having. And the ChatGPT has shared this comprehensive one-page resume that gives you spaces where you can include your own information, and then some of the things they have already mentioned it for you if they fit, because you haven't given a lot of detail about what exactly you were doing, but this is more of a general thing that somebody of this much experience working in a startup specializing in social media marketing should be actually doing. And basis on that, ChatGPT has been able to share that. It includes your education, technical skills, and all the other informations which is there. So it's up to the user who's using it which all things are relevant and true to what they have been doing. There could be a lot of other things which this might have not covered up. So you as a user can fill that up also, but it's a very decent template that can start you with preparing your resume. So why exactly is prompt engineering important? Because that also was one of the questions that Montita asked me. The reason is that it helps you with creating the content that is relevant to the ask that you have. And one of the major problems that we are seeing with generative AI applications these days is hallucinations. Hallucinations is that it creates content which is not true. So, for example, it might quote a person that they have said this, although that person has not said that statement. The reason behind is that right and wrong is not something that are we have as of now put into these generative AI applications. What we are saying is that they have to generate something which is new. So that's the only bottom line which it knows as of now. So, the first poll question that you were given with, and most of you had selected almost all of you had selected the first option. So when Mudita and we were talking, I said there's an asterisk to it. So this hallucination is that asterisk. So if I am a person who comes from the background of computer science, and if I'm asking questions related to this to ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, what all responses they are going to know, I, to a very certain extent, would be sure about the fact that whether these are hallucinations or whether these are the correct responses. But if I ask something that is related to, let's say, medical diagnostics, I don't come from that background. I have very, very limited knowledge about it. I may end up with solutions or answers that may not be 100% correct, and there is no way for me to verify it. I have to actually go to a human expert to have that understanding. So there is no point for me to use these tools for domains that I don't have a knowledge about. Then prompt engineering can be great to help you guide. So the word is guide to take care of complex tasks. So for example, there is a huge document that has been given and you're supposed to be summarizing it. That it can do without hallucinations because you have already supplied a content to them, and basis on that, they're going to summarize it. Then the fact that you don't have to train it just like a normal machine learning model. It's just that how better you give the prompt. So do you remember the days when you first downloaded these applications and the way you were giving prompts? And I'm sure there has been a lot of improvement now when you are giving the prompt. And even if you have given a old prompt before and the same prompt if you give now, you'll see there's a difference in the answer also, because these are also learning, and the prompts that you give, that also help them to learn and improve their responses. And of course, it helps us with saving our time. A lot of manual work, which is totally time consuming and not that productive, all of that gets reduced by using these generative AI tools, and on how to use them better, the good prompts that we use. So there are some of the typical techniques that we have, which I'm sure you are already using without knowing that there are specific techniques that you are using. The first one that we have is zero shot prompting. This is when you ask without giving any example, right? About rain. So haiku is a Japanese word, and that means to write 4 lines about any concept. So in this case, it's asking to write about rain. Then you have few short prompting, which is where you provide at least one example in the prompt. For example, translate this sentence to French. So you are giving that sentence. Then chain of thought, where you ask the model to tell you that how they have come here in a step-by-step manner. So explain how you solved this math problem. Then role prompting. So this is a very interesting one, where you assign a role to to the model that you are a career coach, suggest interview tips. So it can be the other way around also. So explain quantum theory to me like I am a 5-year old. So that time you are giving yourself a role and you're asking you're writing a prompt to do it that for you. So this works both ways. And then formatting instructions, wherein you are specifying the structure in which you want. So give me 5 bullet points, or give me the content in the form of slides of a presentation, or so all these ways in which you specify this, it will help you produce this. And now, if you are already using them, you would see that if you are even asking them to create a summary of something, once they share that with you, the generative AI apps are now asking you, do you want us to convert it into a presentation? And if you say yes, they'll do that for you. So there are some of the essentials that you need to keep in mind when you are writing a prompt. And so, we're just putting this across. Maybe some of this is applicable in every prompt that you write, and some may not be, but it's always a good idea to keep these in mind so that you can get the results that you are expecting the application to share it with you. First is context. So it's always important for the application to understand that what is the background of the task that you are giving it. Then it has to be very specific. So, tell me about space is not specific. So you have to tell that in space there are stars and planets and a lot of other, bodies that are floating around. So what exactly is it that you are asking? And when you say space, are you talking about how it started, how it's going to end, or, so you have to be specific. Then style and tone. So, should it be formal? Should it be in a presentation format? Should it be a summary? Should it be a poem, a prose? You have to explain that, or you have to write that also in the prompt. And then instructions. So, explicit commands that you give, that explain it to me like a 5-year-old, or explain it to me like a first-year engineering student. So these explicit commands make it more tuned towards your uh, requirement. So this is the structure of an effective prompt. Again, may not all the prompts have all this, but it should have. One is an introduction where you are outlining the context, then the body where the main request is mentioned, parameters, any specific constraints or style keywords, and then conclusion, that is to affirm the task that you have provided. So some of the more, effective prompt examples that we have, um, taking care of what all we have discussed till now. For example, explain the main differences between relational and non-relational databases with examples of when to use each. So just imagine how specific and clear this instruction is, and there is absolutely no point of any ambiguity in it. It is very crisp, very clear that what exactly you want, and it is going to provide you that. Similarly, generate a list of engaging social media post ideas for a new coffee brand, focusing on promoting sustainable practices and community engagement. So you have even pinpoint that of all the things which are there, these are the two things that need to be at the primary focus. Next one, write a 200-word summary on how AI is transforming the healthcare industry, focusing on diagnostics and patient care, right? So similarly, when you have to generate images also, you have to be very particular about the subject. That will be the detailed description, what style, that is going to be the artistic influences. Recently we had the Ghibli art was one, it's like quite old, but I think the very recent one was all the girls, they were trying to get pictures where they are wearing saris and all those things. So I mean, a lot of things come and go, but then you are specifying the genre. So it should be in 60s or 40s or 50s, or maybe a sci-fi theme, whatever. And the color palette. So whether it has to be black and white, or soft tones, or spring colors. So you are specifying that also. This is another example that we have. So the prompt says a mermaid is sitting on a rock in the middle of a stormy sea with her hair flowing in the wind and luminescent fish swimming around her. So, it's still a very vague statement. It said the fish is swimming around her, and see, they have fishes up in the air also, because this is also around, which means that even this needs finer tuning. So coming to the last part of our presentation, that's going to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly side of prompt engineering. So just to summarize, the good talks about the fact that we are creating a lot of content without any coding. So that's one of the good sides of it. I can create, if I have to give a presentation where I have to showcase to my client that what exactly the website is going to look like, and I don't even have to write a single line of code. I can use my prompt, and these applications can give me a wonderful UI to showcase in my presentation that this is exactly how the website once completed is going to look like, which means that the customer can give me a lot of suggestions that, these things I want, these things I don't want, can you change the color, all those things. So imagine you have already worked on it and then you are changing, as compared to giving them a prototype, and you can have a brainstorming session on that. And the fact that these prompts are reusable, they are flexible. With every result that you are getting, you can make slight changes in your prompts to say that how you can improve your results. It will be quite, the fact that this is comparatively very faster as compared to developing something from the scratch. And if I am an expert in one domain, I can use this and get the results which is there. So even if I'm not a computer engineer and I'm somebody who comes from the background of law, for example, and I can use these applications and they can help me a lot with all my daily tasks as well. Now, the bad of prompt engineering. So the fact remains is that there is an inconsistency. So the results of GPT-5 may be way different from what Claude or Gemini might give me. So again, if I'm not very well versed with this subject, and the results that I'm getting from all these different applications can confuse me. Although this can be a good thing also if you are an expert, because then you can have a comparison and you can pick the one which is better. But usually it will create a confusion with the user. And then, of course, there is a lot of trial and error process that goes with it. So, which means that you will have, a lot of rework on how you are improving your prompts, and that might take a lot of your time. Then, as of now, these are not capable of answering how, and I told that, it has a lot of hallucinations which is there. So that's the reason that this has some disadvantages that comes along with it. Now coming the ugly part of it. um, one of the major concerns that these applications has given is the fact that there can be a bias. So because they don't have that morality police installed in them as of now, so these applications really don't know that the responses that they are giving could imply that there is a certain biasness to those responses. Their responses can be skewed. They can give content or information that can be hurtful to a certain set of the people. So all these things, they come out with this, and they are the ugly part of it. And we've already seen deep fakes where faces are morphed on to other people's bodies and all those things happening. So which means that with great power comes great responsibility. So if you have this amazing technology at your disposal, you should be mindful that what you are using it for. Okay, so I thought I'll put together some of the interesting prompts for you. If you are interested and want to experiment a little bit, you can take a screenshot of it and use different applications and compare the results. So these are some of the visual prompts that you might use. I'm sure you must be already experimenting with Gemini and ChatGPT, but if you can also go on to all the Midjourney's uh, license fees, so at least $10 per month. But do try it out if you happen to have a chance. Delhi or Stable Diffusion, anything that you might have a chance out. Of course, Gemini or ChatGPT, try it out. Then this is another one that I put together for you, which are story or text prompts. So this is again all these different type of prompts that you can try out. If you are interested, you can take a screenshot of this as well. And then thirdly, conceptual prompts or world building prompts. So this is a little bit more creative, wherein you can think of something which is out in the fantasy and a little bit more abstract. So see if this can be quite an interesting activity that you might take up. And with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Himdweep. You've really made it so simple to understand this world of prompt engineering. And I must appreciate this student called Rohit U. He is the first person to ask the question in the chat box, and it's only the first question that is difficult to ask, right? So before I move on to my other questions, let me take up his question. He says,
Sure.
did prompt engineering play any role in okay, does prompt engineering play any role in core engineering like electrical, civil, and will it exist after 2-3 years?
Okay, so anything that makes your life comparatively easier, that stays. Things that make it difficult, they go away in 2 3 years. And generative AI is making your life easy. It's summarizing a huge text for you. It's generating reports out of surveys that contains perhaps crores of entries. Um, it's so no, if I look at in that constructive way, this is something which is not going anywhere and it is going to stay here more than 2 3 years, and it will be more refined and more the ugly and the bad part of it which I was speaking about, those are going to get eliminated. Those biasness in the outputs that we get as of now, all those will be eliminated. Coming to the first part, that whether it is relevant for domains like electrical, mechanical, or civil. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like my dad is a civil engineer, right? So they don't construct and the blueprints every time from the scratch. They are always taking references from the things which are already there. So he was in irrigation department and they were designing all these canals and everything, and they were using the blueprints of the canals which were already being there, and then considering what is the geography of the new area, they would make those adjustments. So what I'm trying to say is that we are drawing even now inspiration from what we already have, and then basis on the new inputs that are there, that gives a slight change to the original one which is there. Now the same thing these applications will be able to do us, and the fact is that because these applications are going to be very mindful of each and every input that you are going to provide, there will be absolutely no scope of an error, which means that if you are into creating a huge infrastructure where a slight mistake can lead to huge disasters, we can actually rely on these applications to ensure. I'm sure the next question that might be in a lot of the kids' mind now is that are these applications going to replace humans? Right, and I'm sure Mudita, you had also mentioned this when you introduced this topic. No, nothing can replace humans. At the end of the day, because you are a civil engineer, you understand this domain, whatever output it's going to give, You are the one who's going to pass or reject it, right? It's just going to reduce your manual effort. It's not going to replace you. What knowledge you have about this domain, nobody else can replace it. So I hope that answers that concern once and
Definitely.
for all.
Definitely, definitely. There are more questions from the students. I'm glad that Rohit has inspired some other students to ask questions. I'll take those up later because I have a long list of questions to ask you. And now that we
Sure.
have a clear idea about what is prompt engineering, these are some rapid fire questions, Himdweep, that I'll ask you.
Okay.
Okay, and
Okay.
students, I'm sure you will be amazed with the relevance that we have tried to bring in by asking these questions. Okay, so the first question, Himdeep, how is prompt engineering opening up new career opportunities for students?
So, although it feels as if you're just writing a sentence in English, but interestingly, this is a very sought after role these days, and it's also paying you very well. So, which means that you know exactly how to write or give that right, uh, prompt in order to give you the result which is there. So if you can, I know this is a rapid fire, but I really want to give this beautiful talk about this beautiful story. So there was this person who had this issue with his car, and he had sought a mechanic who was not able to do it, and then another one. Then somebody told that, there's this one mechanic who is amazing, you should speak to him. But when he went and asked him about the fee, he said the fee which was almost 10 times more than the other mechanics whom he had seen before. So he was so desperate, and he was like, okay, fine, you come and you do it. I'm okay with it. So this mechanic comes, who's supposed to be an expert. He just screws one nut and the car starts. And this man is surprised. He said that just for this you have asked me such a lot of money. He said, the difference is that I knew exactly which nut to tight so that the car can start. So the same thing goes with a prompt engineer also, that you should be having that capability of knowing that exactly what prompt to write in order to get the result. If they are going to hire you and pay you huge amount of money, then don't expect you to take on days to experiment with all the prompts to see what fits best, right? So that sort of an expertise, if you are able to develop, this is one sort of the career which is there. And interestingly, there are a couple of more which you'll see.
So which means that domain knowledge coupled with prompt engineering knowledge is what
Exactly.
will make you stand out in the
Specialist,
market.
yeah. It will make you a
Right.
specialist and stand out in the market.
Yeah.
And then if you have an understanding of the machine learning models, then of course you have roles like generative AI engineer or LLM consultant or AI interaction designer, which is little bit more sophisticated and will expect a little bit more towards the fact of what goes on in the background as well. But prompt engineering is more likely to be towards what you're supposed to be using at the front end.
Thank you. My next question, Himdi, what are the key skills that students should procure to become job ready in prompt engineering space? So, for example, there are so many courses, projects, or so many resources are available in the market, right? What should they focus on to start their journey?
Okay, it might be not what they are expecting, but the first thing is linguistic and creative, which means that they should have excellent communication and clarity of thought, um, which is quite relevant for somebody who wants to start their career in prompt engineering. Then, of course, technical. They should have a good understanding of Python, machine learning, LLM. Then third thing which is required is analytical capability. So which means that they should be able to quickly evaluate the results that they are getting. They should be able to diagnose if there are any hallucinations, if there is any biasness. And then, of course, the fourth one will be your domain expertise. So, having a knowledge of a specific industry, that can be finance, that can be legal, that can be mechanical, that can be electrical, in order to ensure that whatever results you are getting, they are meeting the expected standards.
Thank you so much. I hope this brings some clarity to the students. Another question from my side. I'm sure there are non-IT, non-CSC students also sitting in the audience that we saw in the beginning in the first poll. So, is prompt engineering a career only for IT engineering, or can non-IT, non-engineering students also pursue it? And
Of course.
how?
And I think we have already discussed this, the fact that I'm saying that, somebody who's a domain expert in legal or finance, they can also use it. So, domain can be anything. You need not be a computer engineer or somebody from computer background. Domain can be anything. I did mention about the fact that, little knowledge on AI, sorry, Python machine learning would be good. So, we have a lot of different certifications or courses out there that put together these things these days together. So you'll see that there are a lot of courses also that comes from these non-IT, non-engineering background where the topics of, let's say, financial services is being clubbed with AI. So where they are actually telling that, how these two different, seemingly different worlds are being brought together for the students to understand that though they might have limited knowledge or understanding of programming, but still they can make use of generative AI applications to help them with whatever activities, reports, transaction understanding they might be required to do.
Thank you so much, Henry. So there are so many more questions that I have in my list, but let me pick up a few questions from the audience.
Sure.
Ganesh Aja has a question. There are rumors that prompt engineering will be replaced by context engineering. How true is that?
So this is what I'm saying, that eventually, um, when you will start creating models that are more specific to a certain domain and they'll be used for that. So, from general, you'll be coming to something which is more specific. So in that case, of course, context will become the background of what you are working with. So it will be something similar to, where we all started with. So the first thing that we did when we understood what AI is to start building expert systems, wherein we went to domain experts and we sought all the knowledge from them, and we put this into a system, and then we were asking queries and the system was responding back to it. And at that point of time, I'm talking about 1980s, we were calling them expert systems. Mice and dental were some of the first expert systems that we had created. So they were domain specific and they were giving right answers, and they were also telling us how and why we are getting those responses. So of course we will be moving back in that direction.
We are on the top of the hour, so I'll quickly take up a few more questions from the students. Ishwarya VS, can we use prompt engineering to make a design of a mechanical component with accurate dimensions?
Yes, of course you can. um, which means that
So I think it's again the same thing that you said, that
same
it
thing.
will make, but how are you able to assess it? How well are you able to assess
So
it when the
if
output
I
comes in,
use a
right?
prompt, I'm not from a mechanical background, right? So whatever mechanics I studied
Hmm.
was in my first year of engineering, which was very limited. So and I can definitely, I don't have any understanding of a mechanical component. So even if I copy paste a prompt from somewhere and it gives me a result, I have no way of understanding whether that output is right or not. But Aishwarya, being a person coming from that background, will be able to make that assessment that yes, this is okay. So are these
Okay.
dimensions accurate or not? She'll be better to confirm as compared to anybody else or as compared to generative AI application as well.
Sure, sure. Agastya has a similar question. Can we use prompt engineering for creating a research paper?
Yes, we can, but I will never suggest you to do that. uh, I know there are a lot of applications that even help to, hide the fact that you have copied from the generative AI. But trust me, um, at times, journey is also as important as the destination. So it's not, give the due importance to journey
Got it.
and not always to destination.
Got it. Got it. I think that's the can we categorize it into the bad, good, bad, ugly, bad part
That's
of
the ugly
application
part.
usage?
It's the ugly part of.
Okay. So Agastya, beware before you do that. One last question I have from the audience. It says, again from Ganesh Raja, if you could give some examples of AIs which are completely free of cost available for usage. Maybe to start with.
So Gemini, ChatGPT, they have their free versions, which are now quite good as compared to, even 3, 4 months back. So whatever I was able to do using ChatGPT paid version, I'm getting fairly good results with the free version also, the ChatGPT 5, which is there. Gemini is free. Then you have, so for UI interface, have just started using Lovable AI, that is from Google. It's amazing. All these new applications that Google has just launched. So I've been using Gamma for presentations. It shares an amazing backgrounds that you can use to, and even the content is quite decent. I usually refer it for backgrounds because they are very creative. Um, even Perplexity. So all those are there which are free of cost, and they have a free version that you can use, and they give quite a. If you are going for something which is quite deeper and research intensive, then you'll have to definitely go for a paid version.
In Veep, can prompt engineering become a full-time career, or is it just a part of the AI jobs?
We, as of now, we are having jobs which require people or which have job titles as prompt engineering. So it will be again domain specific, but yeah, there is a good number of people who we are hiring as of now. But you do understand that as of now, this technique or this technology is quite new. We are developing and we are learning side by side. It will reach a point where substantially stable application will be developed. So perhaps then this will be something which is known to everybody. For example, we needed people how to use Excel at one point of time. There were specific trainings. Now everybody who has done engineering is expected to understand all these different tools of Microsoft, right? So over a period of time, this won't be something which is a separate skill that you need to know. It will be something that we all will be well versed with. But yes, as of now, it is a standalone job.
Okay. Next question is, can prompt engineering help me work in AI even if I don't want to code a lot?
Yeah. It is helping a lot, and you don't even need a paid version of your applications these days. But the fact remains that the free versions can give you code which might have a lot of errors. So one tip I can give you, if you're not interested in code, copy paste that error and give it back to the application. They will revise the code and give it back to you. Make sure the code
Yeah,
runs.
that's an excellent application. That's an excellent application. And it really works well. I've tried it myself. Okay, next question is, are there specific tools or platforms that every prompt engineer must know? If you could list maybe three of them. Are there specific tools or platforms that every prompt engineer must know?
Uh, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Gemini.
Okay, you will not name Midjourney in the top three.
It's a paid one. So I won't.
That's
Uh,
okay. I think
and and Midjourney
all these three are
specifically.
similar kinds, right?
No,
To learn
so
to learn prompt engineering, or to
So
practice prompt engineering.
I'm coming to it. Modita,
Sorry,
Midjourney is
sorry.
all, no, it's okay. It's only used for generating images, right? All of these are used for text as well as images. But if you are going to get into something like video editing or creation of videos, then you have actually better versions. Like Delhi is far better in order to create videos and all. So generally something if you want to try out for first and experiment how it goes, the fact that now GPT and Gemini are also helping you experiment with images. You can upload your own images. By own I don't mean personal images, I mean that if you have clicked a picture of, let's say, a bottle or something like that, and it can give you a lot of different interesting prompts that you can apply on it to get more creative out of it. The prompts that I have shared during the last slide of my presentation, if you try out that on ChatGPT or on Gemini, you will be getting some interesting results also. So free versions are better to try first. And if you are really serious about a certain line of art, if I can call it so, then go for. And even if you get more and more interested, invested into it, I don't know how many of you saw, but that folk picture that I had showed, there was this one
Cycle.
picture of the boy which had 3 arms instead of
Oh,
two.
didn't notice. Didn't notice.
So that's mid journey. So it's also not perfect. And if you're spending so much money and it's giving you that many errors, it's always better to try out with Gemini.
Thank you so much. While I close this session today, Himdweep, would you like to give away a closing message for the audience, for these young students who are looking for a career in prompt engineering?
As you know, I was closing my presentation and I mentioned this one line, which is from Spider-Man: with great power comes great responsibility. So, this is an amazing technique that we have at our disposal, and we can do wonders. We can actually solve a lot of our problems and make our life very, very easy. But at the same time, we have to be mindful of what prompts we are writing, and the results we are going to get, how they might affect humans in general. Somehow, the thrill, the excitement often, leads us to lose this side of empathy, which we are born with. Other than that, this is a evolving technology. A lot needs to be done. It's not even anywhere near to perfect. It's like 10% the where we are as of now. So imagine the potential. So just imagine how much you can actually put into this to develop these models far better, to make them more empathetic towards the responses that they'll be giving. You can be even assuring that the skewness in the responses that you're getting, that gets diminished. The hallucinations are removed whatsoever. So there is a huge scope in developing these. And of course, as you are going to give new prompts, the creativeness that is going to come with it, that is also something that needs a lot of more efforts in the way that that is going to make you more. So even the very fact that we say that humans are going to be replaced, that's not going to happen, because at the end of the day, it's the humans who are going to be using these applications to generate new and interesting things that can be used for betterment of a lot of people.
Thank you so much, Dr. Himdweep, for joining us today. A very heartfelt thank you for sharing such wonderful insights with our participants. And thank you, participants, for uh, asking questions, responding to our questions. We do look forward to the next sessions that we are going to have with you. That is starting January now, because of your exams and your vacation, your preparatory leaves, all of those coming up in the next 2, 3 months. So best of luck to you for all of that. We'll see you again in January. But meanwhile, we have jobinars happening every second and fourth Thursday. Many master classes keep happening every other week. And all of those recordings we are putting up on a Jobinar page. The link is given in the chat. So make use of information which comes directly from the experts, be it industry experts or speakers from IITs and IIMs of India. So make use of that. Go and visit this Jobinar page, register yourself, and we hope that we are able to make a difference in your careers. Best wishes to you all. Thank you so much, Dr. Himdweep.
Thank you so much.